Good afternoon, guys. This is Issues with Toddy Winskip. I am Toddy Winskip. What are you eating? You know there's over 12,000 of you. I can't believe it. Guys, I so appreciate it, and I say it all the time, but I hope that you know that I honestly mean it. I try to put good content out there, something that'll make your day a little bit better, and that if you don't have me in it, you miss a little bit, or you feel like you miss a little bit, because when I don't put up content, I feel like I missed a little bit. So I hope that that's reciprocated. Guys, what is this latest trend about people, unfortunately, like leaving their kids in their car? How do you forget your child in a car? I mean, guys, we have so much connected to us. Is that the problem? Is it that instead of our phone being a landline and we actually have to in the house to hear the phone? Or it's got to be so many steps away from us that we don't want to be distracted and or bothered, more or less. It's bothered, right? To go answer the phone, that when our phone is connected to us, we could just look down, take a phone call, start chit-chatting, and lose track of time, forgetting that maybe there's a child in the car that we forgot to help get out of the car, and then it's too late. Guys, what is going on here? I used to travel with the dogs a lot. And, obviously not Danny because Danny's new, but Danny will be traveling with me, and my biggest concern is like being in a bathroom for a second too long. I keep the car running, but with the car that I have, it's hard. I don't even know how to lock the door and keep the air conditioning on, but I haven't had to do that. So there's got to be a way. Anyway, the point is, what happened? How do you come back from that? That is so unintentional. It's almost innocent, and we could relate to, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that, or oh my gosh, I forgot to do that, or I don't know. I mean, I used to pick up my younger sibling from school, and I picked up nieces and nephews, and I never forgot them. Like, forget that I forgot them or didn't forget them in a car. I never forgot to actually go get them. So how does that happen? How does a grown man come home, leave his kid in the car, knowing in 30 minutes your car is going to shut off, the air conditioning is going to shut off? How do you not set a fucking alarm to be reminded? I have these alarms set all over. I have Alexas going on and off. It's going to start talking. I'm serious. Like, we live where we live in a world where we could be easily distracted, but we also have all of the tools to keep us focused, or at least if we get distracted, to keep us on point. We have phones that keep alarms on. And then what do? Like, how many? I think 11 kids this summer. 39 alone on the East Coast in 3 states, just in 3 states, in New York, in Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Like 39 kids are forgotten. Guys, I remember reading a story. I said to myself, oh my goodness, I mean, the dad, that's an accident. I don't think that this is intentional with children being left in cars. But we can't keep fucking calling it accidents. We can't keep doing that either. We have to pay attention. To me, an accident is something that happened a few winters ago. It's probably a little bit longer than that, where we had gotten so much snow in the city. Some man went out to go and shovel where his car was, and his son wanted to come out with him. His young son, he was about 5-6 years old, and the dad thought, oh, it's going to be a good memory. He'll see all this snow and da-da-da. Well, the kid got tired and said, can I go lay in the car? And the dad puts the heat on in the car and closes the door. But what he doesn't realize is the exhaust for the car is still under all this snow. And the kid dies, unfortunately, from carbon monoxide poisoning. That is an accident. Picking up your child from school and going and playing video games is not an accident. So the question is this: do we start making these people examples so that people are more on their toes? Because we are distracted all the time. We do have our nose in our phones. We aren't looking up. we aren't making these human connections that we're supposed to make as human beings. We're living online. And in the meantime, things that are really going on around us, the tangible, the real, not the virtual, is what we're neglecting. So, you know, Ethan Crumbley, the school shooter, right? He unalived people. He went into a school but before that happened, he said to his parents, I need help. I'm hearing voices in my head. And one parent laughed and the other one said, yeah, something sarcastic. That was, and then they bought him a gun. And then he went to school and he used that gun. And those parents are now sitting in prison doing time because of how they didn't pay attention to their son. I don't usually believe in people being used as an example, but my way has changed a little bit because it's almost like doing something for the greater good. So if you set these people up to be the example, and you make a new precedence that if you forget your kid in the car, this is how much time you do in prison, if not life. Because to me, that's life, right? But even if they do 15, 20 years, at least the next person would say, it's not a smack on the wrist, and they take it a little bit more serious. Now, I think in their heart, they're like, I'm not going to forget my kid. But if you put the penalty of life in prison on top of that, chances are they probably won't forget their kid. So they can look back when they say, let me grab the groceries, I'll come back and get the kid, instead of getting the kid and then coming back and getting the groceries. And they say, oh yeah, remember that Arizona dad, the one that went and played video games and forgot? Yeah, he's doing an awful lot of time in prison. Let me go get the kid and then I'll go get the cereal out of the car. You see what I'm saying, guys? So to me, I don't have a problem anymore with people being used as an example when the cost of what we lost is a human life. When it's all about just being distracted. We can't be so distracted. First of all, there is nothing good about being that distracted. And he was playing video games. And I know these games seem to be important to people, but he clearly feels and knows, and there's no doubt he'd throw all the video games away in the world, I believe, and get his kid back. He feels horrible. His wife's trying to get him out of prison now, or out of jail now, because he hasn't done any time. I want to stay on the case.
A heartbreaking moment. A dad hangs his head in grief as his wife begs a judge to release him. Their 2-year-old daughter lost her life after the dad allegedly left her in a hot car.
I'm just asking if you can allow him to come home to us so we can all start the grieving process so that he can bury our daughter with us.
Police say the husband drove up to the house outside Tucson, Arizona with his daughter asleep in the car. He told police he didn't want to wake her, so he left her in the vehicle with the engine on and the AC running. The temperature outside was 109 degrees. 3 hours later, his wife, Dr. Erica Schultes, arrived home. Cops say little Parker was discovered unresponsive in the car. The engine was off and there was no air conditioning.
I heard the most horrible screams I've ever heard in my entire life.
The mom, an anesthesiologist, performed CPR until first responders got there. Parker was rushed to the hospital, but didn't make it. According to police, Christopher Schultes was aware the vehicle would automatically shut off after approximately 30 minutes, but he allegedly got distracted by playing his video game and putting his food away. Court papers reveal shocking text messages between the parents as their little girl was being rushed to the hospital. How many times have I told you, says the mom. Babe, I'm sorry, he answers. We have lost her. She was perfect, says mom. Then he texts, babe, our family, how could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real. Dr. Schultes called into the court hearing. They have 2 other children.
He's an amazing father. This was a big mistake, and I think that this doesn't represent him. No one understands how great of a tragedy this is more than myself, my remaining 2 daughters, and Christopher.
Christopher Schultes has pled not guilty to second-degree murder.
Another one happened in New Jersey.
The death of an 8-week-old infant who went into cardiac arrest after being left in a hot vehicle in Ocean County, New Jersey.
The infant's father is now facing charges. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman live outside of the police station there in Lakewood with the latest, Trish, a tragic death that really could have been prevented.
Brian, and that father is now charged with endangering the welfare of a child. He is no longer in custody. The details here are very upsetting. According to charging documents obtained by Action News, the baby girl was in the car for about 4 hours before help was called. An 8-week-old baby girl died after being left in a parked car in Lakewood, New Jersey on Monday. 28-year-old Abraham Chaitovsky is now charged in connection with his daughter's death. Officers were called to New Egypt Road around 1:45 p.m. for a report of an infant in cardiac arrest. According to court documents, the baby was in the parked vehicle, which was not running, from about 9:20 a.m. until about 1:30 p.m. The infant was pronounced dead on scene.
I mean, this is happening so consistently, and it's hot, people. We know it's hot. It has been one of the hottest summers that I can remember. So, come on. How do you just... I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Guys, what's your feeling about this? Do you think people should now be no longer can just be, oh, fuck, it's an accident. I'm so sorry. It's no longer that. But now it's serious penalties by law. What do you think about that? Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I really do want to know what you think about this, because this is something, unfortunately, that has happened throughout the years, but it just seems obviously while we are connected to other things, literally, while we are connected to our phones, while we have our noses in our phones, we are neglecting the real world around us. And that's living, breathing, a heartbeat, blood, feeling, emotion, heart, soul. And we're not paying attention to that. And that can't be. All right, guys. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always, always be kind. Thanks, guys. And double check your cars. I'm not being funny. Double check, guys. Animals, too, man. Come on, seriously. We gotta be better. We gotta be better. All right, guys. Thanks.